April 4th, 1983. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Zelma Dearborne. Mrs. Dearborne, where were you born?
Kansas, Leota, Kansas.
And when's your birthday?
And September the 23rd, 1903, I was born.
Who was your father?
He was R.C. Scott, Richard Campbell Scott.
Was he from Kansas?
Well, he lived in Kansas quite a while,
Yeah.
but he was formerly from Philadelphia.
And who was your mother?
Rosalie Flannery, her maiden name was Flannery.
Flannery?
Uh-huh. Irish.
And where was she from?
Well, her parents came from Canada. She was a Canadian, French Canadian, her grandmother, and her grandfather was Irish. She came from that part of the country.
What kind of work did your father do?
Farmer. He really was raised livestock, raised cattle. He farmed.
How long did you live in Leota?
Well, I suppose 5 or 6 years. We had moved there from Council Grove, and then we moved to Leota.
Do you have any memories of Leota?
Yes, it was a town built on. It was kind of plain, like a plain. No trees, no hills, no rocky places, just plain. And when it snowed in the wintertime, we'd get in our sleigh, and we had one horse sleigh, and we'd go over if there's any fences anywhere, we just go over the fences, go all over the country wherever we wanted to go.
And when did you move to Oklahoma?
In 1908.
1908. To Glencoe?
To Glencoe.
How come your parents came to Oklahoma?
The question, I didn't understand it.
How come your parents came to Oklahoma?
Well, I'll tell you, that part of Kansas was I said, on the plain. It was just dry. We didn't have any rain in the summertime. We had a little snow and rain early in the spring, and there wasn't any water. So he traded what he had there, 2 acres for one, and we got a farm here in Oklahoma, near Glencoe, which wasn't a big ranching country, but we traded 2 acres for one and got a smaller place. And
How big was the place?
it was a half a section.
Half a second. Was there a house on it?
Yes,
What kind of house?
we had a nice 3-room house.
Frame?
Yes,
Did you start school there?
yes.
What was the name of the school?
Floral Valley.
Floral Valley?
Floral Valley.
Who was your teacher?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I hadn't thought of it for so long. What was her name? She was a school teacher that she drove a buggy and horse from where she lived, west of Glencoe. She came a long way. I can't remember.
Was the school in Glencoe or was it outside?
It's outside on a farm. That is a farm station.
Yeah. How far from Glencoe was your place?
About 5 miles.
5 miles.
5 miles east.
What kind of chores did you do in the farm as a child?
I helped Mother in the garden. We had some cotton, and I kind of helped her pick cotton. I remember picking with somebody else, pick cotton, little cotton, not much.
Did you do any like laundry or house cleaning?
Oh, I helped Mother. Uh-huh.
Did you do the laundry?
I didn't do it myself. I helped Mother.
How did your mother do it?
We had one of these wash machines that you push this way and wash.
It had a handle on it?
Went this way, and we washed it that way, and then rinsed them in a tub of water.
How did that machine work that had the handle? How did that operate?
Well, it had a, I remember some kind of gears. A wheel went down through here and one down into the tub, and we just turned one, and they turned. They turned something, kind of a three-corner paddle of a thing down in there on the clothes, turn the clothes around and around in there. As you push this way, that turned those things around and around. And it didn't seem unusual land, but I guess it would to people now.
Yeah.
Very, very unusual.
What kind of soap did you use for the laundry?
Well, something, yeah, you get into the little, yeah, we did have some homemade soap. Not all. We didn't have enough to do. We always had to buy some.
Did you help your mother make soap?
Stir it. I think I had to stir it till it was cooling or something. Uh-huh.
Remember how your mother made it?
She had an iron kettle and made it out on a fire, on a little, she built a fire with wood. Like a campfire, you know, a big, great big kettle. And she made it, I don't know how, I don't remember what was in it or anything. Can't remember that. We didn't do that long.
Now, did your father, was he a farmer or a rancher at Glencoe?
Well, at Glencoe, we did quite a bit of farming.
So you raised cotton, you say?
He raised a little bit. He didn't go in for it very big because that was a new thing to him, and he just tried it out to see how he'd like it, and they didn't like it very well.
What else did you raise?
Well, he had wheat and oats and corn, I think. There was something else. I don't know what it was. Kind of feed, kind of something he fed the cattle.
Kaffir corn?
I believe that was it.
How big was your garden?
I don't know, but it wasn't so big. I suppose about half the size of a lot that you build a house on now. I don't know. Would that be about half acre, fourth acre, something like that?
Yeah.
Just is outside the house, I remember on them.
Do you remember who your father traded the land with? The man's name?
Byall, I believe.
Byall?
Don't seem like that was his name. Byall. Something like that.
And did he move to Kansas?
Uh-huh.
So you just traded farms?
They traded farms. And Dad brought all his livestock that he kept. He didn't keep near all of them. Livestock that we used about the house, the cows and things, and horses to run the machinery. And the farm machinery. And all that stuff, he brought it on a freight car. Shipped it in a freight car. And he came on ahead of us, and he had all that in there, and a furniture. And Mother and I and my brother and sister came on the train, visited some relatives, and came a little later, a week or two later, after he got there.
Do you remember the trip on the train? Anything happened that you especially remember?
Oh, no, particularly. But that's the only way we had to travel in was by train. If you went anywhere, you know, if it was a few miles almost, you had to go by train. But we had gone places. I could remember a lot of times before we moved.
How long did it take to come by train from Leota to Glencoe?
Well, I know we went to a place in Kansas. We went to Glencoe, Kansas, visited people there and stayed a few days, and then we went from there on to Claremore, where my mother's sister lived, and visited her a few days, and then came on. So I really don't know.
How big was Glencoe when you first moved there?
Very, very small. I don't know.
Remember the prominent people in town?
Some of them. There was a Bartholomew that had a grocery store, and there's a McCormick that had a hardware store. I'm trying to remember the fellow in the drugstore. At a drugstore. The place where we'd hang out when we got old enough to go to places. We'd hang out at this drugstore because they had a soda fountain there, something or other. I remember we did that. I can't remember his name. He was a violinist, I remember that. I can't remember.
Who was the banker in Glencoe?
I can see him. I can't think of his name. I can see him in my mind, but I can't remember his name. Baker, it seems like it was Baker, I'm not sure. Baker was in a hardware store. I don't know, I can't remember.
Did you go through high school at Glencoe?
Uh-huh.
What year did you graduate?
Oh, what year was that? I guess it. I was about 16. Let me see, it was just about 1915 or 16, I think. No, it wasn't. No, it was later than that, 1917, I guess. As near as I can remember it. I hadn't thought about those things for so long, I don't know. I just can't bring them to mind right quick.
And then you went to Oklahoma A&M?
Stillwater, for 3 years.
What'd you study?
Well, mostly just general subjects, and I was very interested in English. I was kind of leaning toward specializing in English because I just loved it all the way through school, my childhood days, maybe as soon as I can remember taking it. But I think English was what I was sort of leaning on. I was thought I'd teach. In fact, I did teach a summer or two, Stillwater, just trying things out, you know.
Did you live on campus when you lived there?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you?
In that hall, what was that hall? I've had a stroke, and I think that's why I can't remember.
Now, was it Morrill?
No.
Was the one next to it? There's a Morrell Hall, then there was a dorm next to it, but I can't think the name of it. It's across the street from Old Central.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Did you have classes in Old Central?
Mm-hmm.
What was the inside of that building like?
Oh, it wasn't bad. It was kind of, got like this, and it was white. It's white plastered on walls. And I don't know, I haven't thought about those things for so long, I can't hardly remember what was what in certain places. What was it like when you stayed when you went there? Did you stay?
Oh, I stayed in Cordell Hall. That was in the
That was
it
it was much different. Well, we didn't have near as many buildings there. We just had a small campus, really, when you compare to it now. Because now it's a magnificent place.
How many students were at A&M at that time?
Well, there weren't too many. It was you might be had around 1,900 or 1,000, along about that. Maybe more. I can't remember exactly.
Can you remember what kind of classes were held in Old Central? Were they English classes or what?
Yeah, we had an English class in there. We had an English class, and you might give us a math class in there.
Were you on the top floor?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a basement, and then there's what, 3 floors?
2 floors above it.
Okay, and which floor did you have your classes?
The classes were in the we say the street floor, I guess. First floor, not on the above the basement.
Now there was, if I remember correctly, the top floor. What was on the top floor? What was it?
I can't remember. It wasn't it just rooms?
Was there an auditorium up there? Or,
It might have been an auditorium. Yeah, that's the floor that maybe got. It wasn't on the top floor, was it? It's been too long.
who's your favorite professor at A&M?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't. I liked them all. I don't know. I always did like professors. I loved to go to school, and just loved all of them. I guess I thought these all wonderful people.
Who was the president of A&M at that time?
It was. He was president for a while. What was his name? I can't remember now. I should.
Do you remember what he looked like and what he was like?
Well, he was a splendid speaker, and he was rather tall and nice-looking man. I can remember. I can just see him, but I can't think what his name was.
Where was his office?
Wasn't it on the street floor?
Was it in Old Central?
No, it wasn't. I don't believe it was. I'm thinking it was on the street floor of a building, but I don't believe it was in that building.
They had.
The administration building was. I forget what it was. Where it was.
They had Williams Hall.
I just can't remember.
And how long did you go to A&M?
About 3 years.
3 years. What was the inside of your dorm room like? Can you describe it?
Well, it was pretty crude, what they are now. But it was comfortable. We thought it was nice. It was, we had very crude things in there, but they were plenty nice. That's nice we used to at home, I guess.
How many girls lived in the room?
There were 3 in my room.
And did you have like a bed, desk, table, or what was it?
Yes, there was a bed and a desk, small desk for each one of us. And that was about all except where we kept our clothes. Dresses and a closet for our clothes. It wasn't bad at all.
Did you have a cafeteria there in the
building?
What were your average meals like in the dorm? Like
Well,
your breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Mm-hmm. Well, they were. I don't know. It seemed like I didn't think about what I ate. I can't remember what we had to eat. I'm sure we had plenty to eat. And I can't remember what.
What would you do for your extracurricular activities?
Study mostly. Oh, but I don't know. I was kind of a person that didn't get out and try to get into things too much. So I kept my nose in the book nearly all the time. I didn't.
Were there any dances or?
We had some dances.
Where were they held?
Oh, different places. I can't remember. There's one place where we used to go and dance once in a while, and it wasn't really a college. It wasn't a college building, but it was right close to the campus there. It was kind of, I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't really off limits. No, it wasn't that kind of place. It was a really nice place.
Did they have Theta Pond at that time?
No, it was talk about it. And we talk about it. We hear going to have that right away. That was really being talked about. But still, you saw it.
And you went there for 3 years? How come you dropped out?
I told you I got married.
Did you meet your husband at school?
No, I met him at Glencoe, the place the little town where we lived, where we lived by.
What was his name?
His name was Harding. His name Alfred Harding.
And when did you get married?
We got married in November the 30th. 1921, 22. Oh, later than that. About 22 or 3, I guess. I can't. I'd have to go look.
Yeah. Do you remember World War One?
Oh, yeah. My husband was called to this, Miss Hardy, he was called to this, to go, and he went to training camp, and the armistice was signed, and he got to come home. Didn't have to go and train or anything. That's how near we kept not being in.
Now, were you
We
in
weren't married then.
Yeah. You were in Glencoe during the war?
Yeah.
Were you at A&M at that
Uh-huh.
time? What kind of work did you do for the war effort?
Well, Red Cross. We at Red Cross, they'd teach us how to make a bed and do all those things like you have to do if you're a volunteer for a Red Cross, that kind of work. We never were called for anything like that. We did that, and then we made socks, knitted socks, things, and what else did we do? Got out and sang over there, like crazy little outfits.
What did you sing?
Where did we
Did
sing?
you put on programs or anything?
Well, sometimes really not. I mean, sometimes they just get together and sing. But we did sing programs a few times like that, but not too much.
How many boys from A&M went to the war?
I can't remember. How many? I never thought about it. I don't know.
What did you do with Armistice Day when it was signed?
Well, let's see. I was at home the day it was signed, and we got the word. We got a Kansas City Star. That was a paper beside our little Glencoe paper that we took. We didn't get a daily paper then, or maybe we have been getting daily paper. No, I think just about that time after that was what we started getting daily paper. And we heard it, and we heard over telephone. We always had telephones. I can't remember when we didn't have telephones. But I know we heard it at home. Friends called, or well, I can remember when mother knew about it, and Dad he'd come home from somewhere, and she said, "Did you hear it?" He says, "Yes, I heard it," and everybody was just thrilled over it. And but
A big celebration in Glencoe?
oh yes, everybody had a big celebration.
What did you do?
Oh, just celebrated. I can't remember what all we done. Just got out and. Well, I know Mother and Dad went to church quite a bit. We went to church and had a celebration at the church, and we kids would get out on the street and sing, dance on the street, and such as that. Well, everybody was happy about it.
What kind of work did your husband do?
And he worked for the Oklahoma Natural Gas Company. He first started in driving a truck for that company, and he was superintendent of that district over by Tulsa. Tulsa's the Tulsa district when he got killed over there.
What year was that?
I was 40. See, how old was that? I was 40, he was 48 when I was 45. What year was that?
You were 45, that'd been 1948.
Yes, that's what it was. I remember because he was born in 1900, and it was in 48. He was 48 when he got killed.
What happened to him?
It was an accident on the job.
Where did you live in the 20s? You and your husband.
Now, from how many places did I live? That's what y'all asked me. Because he was working for this company, and of course he just went from one place to another there pretty fast, because he got up there pretty quick. We lived in Watchorn, we lived in Shamrock, and Cushing.
Was your husband involved in the big oil boom in the 20s?
Well, not involved in the oil boom. He was involved in working for this gas company. It took a lot. He had to go around all over the country, setting up gas, big gas meters for gas wells, oil wells. And that involved quite a bit of going around for him. And that way he was involved.
Did he do any work in the Seminole oil field?
No.
You lived in Cushing, you say?
Uh-huh.
What year was that?
I couldn't tell you that. I'd almost have to sit down and figure it out. See, he was in Cushing. That's when my second child was born. We lived there in Cushing, and she is 58. That's way back there. I can't figure that far back. Too much to figure it out.
What about the Depression? How did that affect you and your family?
Well, Mr. Harding was on a salary, of course, and we took 2 cuts in salary. And the men that worked for him would work 2 weeks or half a month, and then another would work half a month. They did that for quite a while, and then he put them all back on again. They was all very kind and cooperative, and we all helped them all we could. But we took 2 cuts in salary, and of course it was given back to us as soon as things got good again. But it was quite a while. I know one time a friend of mine owned a drugstore there in town, and I said something about being so hard to meet bills and this, that, like that. You just couldn't, you had to be careful what bills you made because you couldn't meet your bills. And she said, well, you just think you have a hard time of it. And they were people that were supposed to be up in society, and they were. But she said, well, you just don't know half of it. Says, people come in here and ask us for descriptions, filled, and they this, that, and the other, and they haven't got the money. We just can't turn them down. They've always been a customer of ours, and we just can't turn them down. And we just owe us, and they owe us, and we just hardly have money enough to get stuff back to fill prescriptions. And I thought, well, here I was worrying about income that had been cut a time or two, and there they just had hardly any income at all. I was ashamed of myself.
What kind of meals did you fix in the Depression?
Oh, very common, ordinary meals.
Like what?
Oh. Well, we had lots of chicken. I had chickens. I had a little place where I raised chickens, and we had chicken. And we had plenty as far as that's concerned. I can't remember that we ever suffered. Everything was cheap. I could go to the grocery store, and I wouldn't, for a whole month, it wouldn't cost me more than $30 to buy groceries for a month. When the end of the month, I paid my bill at the grocery store, and it never was more than 30. Lots of times it wasn't 30. Because I had a garden, had a little garden in the backyard. I had green beans, and I had peas, and I don't know what all. I always had a garden.
Where did you live at that time?
We lived there at Checotah.
Checotah.
Checotah, That's in the eastern part of the state.
How big is Checotah?
Well, back then it was, I don't know, never thought about how many people were working there. It was an ordinary sized little town.
What was the main industry around Checotah?
Well, I don't know, farming, I guess. Seemed like more farmers bring stuff in. Of course, there was oil industry around there too, but they were just that kind of, just different kind of.
What county is Checotah in?
It's in McIntosh County.
McIntosh.
That's an Indian name. Checotah is an Indian name. McIntosh is. And you fall with the county seat.
Did you ever meet the Indians in the area?
Oh yes, we had Indians.
That's the Choctaws?
No, they're Creeks mostly.
Creeks.
We had different kinds. And we had a special friend that was from South Dakota. His name was Running Hawk, and he was a fine fellow. He and his wife were, his wife wasn't full blood, but he was full blood. But he was a nice fellow.
Was he Sioux?
Uh-huh, he sure was. Sure was.
What about the creeks around Checotah?
There was a lot of Creeks around there. They were good people. It didn't make any difference. We were just as friendly with the Indians as we were with others. They was that kind of people.
Did they, at the creeks, is that the same thing as the Muskogee Indians?
No, Muskogees were. What were they? They were Muskogee Indians. That's their name. But there were several tribes, you know, it had places in around Muskogee. It was an Indian town. One time there was a lady, said something, we were getting on a bus to go somewhere. And she says, I just look around here, it's supposed to be an Indian country, and I don't see an Indian anywhere. And I said, well, just be still. Your bus driver is an Indian. And he was. I knew his mother. I didn't know him very well because he didn't live in Checotah then. He lived in Muskogee. But his mother lived in Checotah. And I knew her quite well because we went to church the same place.
Now, what percentage of Checotah were Indians, population?
Well, I would guess about the city or the surrounding community.
The surrounding community.
Uh-huh. I was at least a third, I suppose. Were Indian or intermarried with Indians. And they did that all the time. They were just great people.
Tell me about some of the Creek that you got to know. Some of the Creek Indians.
Oh,
And their names.
well, there was this Mrs. McLaughlin that she had married, she was full-blooded Indian. She had married McLaughlin, you know, he must have been Irish. I didn't know him, she was widowed. She had a big family, and she was probably older than I was at that time. And she was a very friendly and nice lady, and she went to the lodge that I went to, and she was the one that trained into in the drills. We'd have drills, and you know, give them once in a while as to entertain people, and she was good at that.
What kind of drills was it?
Well, we'd get out there on the floor and we'd dress all just alike and do certain things, just different. Well, you know what drills are, don't you?
Well, not really.
Oh, you don't? Well, we'd make a figure eight, and then we'd go to each end of the room, and then march together and back up, and then we'd go different ways.
When was this? Was this in the 30s?
Well, it had to be in, 30s and, between 30s and 40s, and around that time.
Did any of the Indians dress in the traditional Creek dress?
Well, if they had one of their tribal entertainments, well, they dressed that way for a Indian dance such as that, but they didn't it's
Did
just
you go
like
to
us.
any of the dances?
I have.
What were they like?
Oh, they dance around. We had the Muskogee, they had a lot of them, and they'd have them there at the Muskogee County fair, where they had the fair and the races and things. And they'd get out there and just march and do all those things. And you know how they got this, you've seen the Indian dances, how they do all that and all dressed just like they're supposed to, like they always have for their
Well, what did their dress look like?
Well, they'd have real fancy leather with fringe on it.
Fringe?
And then they'd have decorations on it. They'd have bright colors, and always a big feathered bonnet. I guess they call them a bonnet. I've heard, yeah, I know they call them a bonnet.
What were you doing when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
It was on Sunday. Been to church that morning. He went to the store to get something for my home. Didn't know it until I went to the store, and our store had heard it. And they had received the paper, and we hadn't got our paper on Sunday out there. We lived out a little ways out of town. And it was in this little store I heard it.
Was that still in Checotah?
Mm-hmm. Just out right at the edge of Checotah.
What was your first reaction when you heard it?
Oh, horrified. Because I just knew we'd have boys there, and I had a boy that went to my oldest son. I knew he'd be, without a doubt, he'd be called because he's that age before long, and I was horrified.
What kind of work did you do for the war effort in World War II?
Just, we'd have meetings and have big dinners and serve the soldiers when they'd be in our town, and we'd have big things like that and send to the families that were left at home, send food to them or send money from these food fairs, as we call them, and just various other things. Of course, did all the just almost forgot about what all we did do, but we stuffed things. We did things and sent to the soldiers. We made packages and sent to the soldiers. I forgot that one. I hadn't thought of it for a long time. That's what we did. I can't remember what we put in. We'd have socks, and sweaters, and scarves, and sent to the soldiers in the service. And it wouldn't always have to be soldiers who we knew. If we knew just any name that we got, we'd send to them.
How'd you get the name?
Well, the county board, I think they call it, they would give us names.
So were they boys from your area?
For that, from that area.
When did your son go in?
Well, he went in, he was already married, and he went in, I thought what year was it? It was the year he took his training, and then he was sent to western part of the country. And while he was there, our president died.
Truman.
Not
Roosevelt.
Truman, Roosevelt. And so we didn't know what he would have to do, but they sent him on. They held him there a little while. Then they sent him on. He went, and then they went. While he was the armistice was soon signed, and the armistice they didn't call it.
It was the surrender.
Surrender. That's what it was. It was before he got over there. They went to the Philippines, and while he was there, they got the news that the surrender had been signed. But they went on, sent him on to Tokyo, and he drove a car for our MacArthur.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm. And he drove a car for him, and he said they'd send MacArthur and his officers. They'd go send out for ice cream. He'd bring them ice cream, and they'd get through. They'd have a whole lot left, and they'd give it to him to take out to the boys when he got home.
What's your son's name?
His name was Kenneth Harding.
Hardy?
Harting. That's the way the Harding is spelled.
Yeah. Does he live here in town?
He died about 20 years ago.
What did you do when the Japanese surrendered VJ Day?
It was just, it was too, that was too devastating. That war was so terrible, wasn't it? There were so many young men killed. My son, of course, was there, and I remember how bad, he was on his way at the time. But when he surrendered, we just all just stopped and gave thanks. That's all I know. We just gave thanks for it. Most of us did. We just went to church and gave thanks. Mm-hmm. Just one of those things that that's what you did. You just gave thanks for it. That's about all you could think of doing.
How was your husband killed?
He was killed in a cave-in. We were getting ready to go on vacation, and he was about to check around on some work that was being done and to see how it was before he left. And he walked, and instead of walking up on a high place, he walked down in a low, where they'd been digging for a pipeline. And the tractor was on this high place, digging out to make the ditch for the pipeline. And they were standing there talking, and they couldn't talk, and they had to holler at each other because of the noise from the tractor. And he stopped the tractor, of course, and it jiggled on that. He said that it kind of jiggled in that soil, and the soil was loose enough that it tumbled in on him. And he was completely buried in that. They dug him out, and he lived for a little more, but he didn't very long.
Where'd you meet Mr. Dearborn?
In Tulsa. I worked in Tulsa. He did too. We just happened to run across each other. And I knew him, well, 4 or 5 years before I married him. Never thought about marrying him. Well, it happens to a person. It doesn't.
What kind of work did you do in Tulsa?
I worked at Banner's.
When did you move to Tulsa?
About 1950, I suppose. I close to that.
Did you do any work in Tulsa when we had boys in Korea? Did you do any work for the soldiers?
No, I think that was, we came to Oklahoma City after I married, I come to Oklahoma City and we bought a motel in Oklahoma City. And we lived there until we retired.
Which motel?
Arcadia. If you're familiar with Oklahoma City, you've been out on 39th Street. It's out on 39th Street of 3500. Oh, we were 35, I think. I don't know, 35, I can't remember what that, 39th Street.
How many kids do you have?
4. One son that died, and I have two daughters, and a son lives here in Edmond.
How many grandkids do you have?
9. The greatest bunch of grandkids. And I've got this many. I got 4 great grands. Now, I even got that. Oh, they're great. They're what's wonderful.
Yeah.
They're all wonderful.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh, I don't know. I believe it was getting on a horse and riding horseback. We used to have my brother and I had a horse feast to ride. We get on those horses and we just ride and ride all the country.
Was this in Kansas or?
No, it was in Oklahoma.
Glencoe?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I lived right there at Glencoe until I married. We just had a big time.
Did you know your grandparents?
Yes. On my mother's side. I knew my grandmother on my dad's side just a very little bit. When I was quite young, she died. I can remember her.
Were either of your grandfathers in the Civil War?
No. No, I had some, Dad had some wait a minute, cousins and so on. Because I know he had cousins that they were one on the north and one on the south side, on the side of the south.
Did your grandparents ever tell you stories about their childhood?
Old some, not a great deal. Some though, of course.
Do you remember any?
Oh, not too much. I can't remember too much about what the story. I remember talking about sometimes, but I can't remember what they. I really can't. I can't remember.
Well, I think we have a good interview.
Well, I hope we had enough. I think it's enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you.
You're sure welcome.